Steve Spagnuolo and the Kansas City Chiefs are coming up with a master game plan to potentially win 3 Super Bowls in a row. But before they do that, they need to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, when you look at the Eagles and what they do very, very well from an offensive standpoint, it's run the football. And when you look back at this Bills game, the Bills actually did a really good job getting James Cook involved, had 13 carries, but had 85 yards, and 5 out of 9 of those touches went over 5 yards, right? So definitely want to be able to stop the run. And here's a play here where they give the ball to James Cook outside, right? He's going to cut outside. Great job here, and then making defenders miss. Saquon Barkley can do this 10 times better than James Cook. All right, maybe not 10 times better, but you know what I mean. When Saquon Barkley has the football, he is a threat to score on every single play. So one of the biggest priorities, one of the biggest things Steve Spagnuolo needs to do is figure out a way to stop this run. And in this video, we're going to break down not only that, but multiple different things that they need to do to win 3 Super Bowls in a row. Again, win Super Bowl 59. Before we dive into a bunch of film and what they need to do, you guys need to do me a favor, hit the like button if you want more of these videos. I plan on covering the Chiefs throughout the entirety of not only the Super Bowl run, but also the off season as well, signings, trades, whatever happens. We got you guys covered. Join the family. Let's deep dive into some priorities that Chiefs need to take care of in this game. Now, what's crazy about this Super Bowl is if you go back to Super Bowl 57, this Eagles team attacks, their personnel is very, very similar to what they did back in Super Bowl 57, right? Same wide receivers, just a little bit more experienced. Same quarterback, but again, a little bit more experience. You actually replace Miles Sanders with Saquon Barkley, which, yes, is a massive, massive upgrade, right? But what's even crazier is if you go back and look at some of the pre-game, pre-Super Bowl rumors from this matchup, a lot of people thought that the Eagles were going to gash the Chiefs defense in the running game and they were going to beat them by just running the football. But if you actually go back to that game, the Chiefs destroyed the Eagles running game. 17 carries for 45 yards. Hurts did a lot on the ground. I believe he had 3 touchdowns and 70 total rushing yards. He was a massive contribution. But if this defense can stop Saquon Barkley and contain Jalen Hurts, they will win their 3rd Super Bowl in a row. And what's really important, right, is not only this defensive line, but these corners, these DBs, the nickel, right? We need to be able to get in there, right here. Look at Jamari Connor. Force a fumble here. They maybe get back to the line of scrimmage. Ultimately, don't pick up too many yards here. If these corners, if these defensive linemen can work extremely hard to get around, again, one of the best offensive lines in football with the Philadelphia Eagles, they will win this game. They have to stop the run. This is super important. Getting your hand on the football, creating turnovers in the run game could be demoralizing for an Eagles team who looks to run the football. Now, I know I wanted to specifically talk about the Chiefs defense and Steve Spagnuolo, which is what I'm going to do, but I want to throw in a little bit of what the Eagles don't like to see, right? Whenever they're passing the football, and quite frankly, every quarterback in the NFL, when they're under a little bit of pressure, they're just not great. But Jalen Hurts specifically is very, very bad when it comes to throwing the ball under pressure, ranking dead last in QB success rate, in attempts or yards per attempt, accuracy per attempt when he is under pressure. He's also ranked 33 out of 37 in QB sack rate and 32 out of 37 in QB yards per attempt, right? So basically very, very low in every statistical category when it comes to throwing the ball under pressure. So if Chris Jones, Mike Dana, Warren, if these guys can, George Karlaftis, these guys can get pressure and apply pressure to Jalen Hurts, not only are they going to put him in a really bad situation, because what's the one thing we know in the NFL? The most important thing is getting pressure on the quarterback. But why? It's because you can force one of 5 different outcomes. You can force a bad decision, right, which could lead into an interception. You could force a bad throw, which on this one, he drops back under pressure, guy in his face, throws it wide open into the dirt, right? Would have been a nice pickup, would have been a first down, but underthrows it into the dirt, bad throw, right? You can force a sack. You can force a forced fumble off the sack, right? So getting pressure on a quarterback is truly vital for the success of a football team. The Chiefs have one of the best interior, exterior, you can move them all around, rushers in football, and Chris Jones, right? He is another one of these X factors. So yes, I believe the 2 X factors of this game for Steve Spagnuolo is 1, get pressure. I'm not saying you need to get sacks. I'm just saying get pressure. That's all. Just get into the frame, the space of Jalen Hurts, and 2, somewhat stop the run. Now, I'm not saying they need to hold Saquon Barkley to 10 carries to 40 yards, which that would be pretty damn good, right? Or 15 carries for 60 yards. I mean, you just don't want him to have explosive plays. And I do believe the Chiefs are able to do that. Specifically, they will win this game. Now, one thing that's going to be really important for the Chiefs is being creative in terms of coming up with pass rushes, right? Now, the Eagles have one of the best offensive lines in football right now, but if you apply pressure to different areas, it's really going to put them in tough positions. So right here, it looks like you're going to overload this right side, maybe send one guy off the edge and try to get them into a full slide one-on-one over here. But in actuality, we're going to send Michael Hoyt back into coverage. We're going to send 1, 2, 3 off the edge, and then we're actually going to send another edge rusher off the right side, off that weak side, right? Now, the game plan here is to initiate contact and then drive into the right guard, right? Now, what does that do? Well, initiates this double team, and then we get a free rusher off the edge, and then you might be able to leak in through that B gap, right? So let's watch this play breakdown so you guys can know what I'm talking about. So again, we said 1, 2, 3. They're in a 5-man scat, slide to the left, man-to-man to the left. So the right guard really doesn't have anything to do, but he sees an extra defender coming this way. We're going to get right into that inside shoulder of the guard. Now the tackle is a little bit late, but he understands, okay, I gotta switch back. The right guard is now falling on his ass, right? Jared Verse is going to get into that B gap, and now we have a guy coming off the edge. So again, they're applying pressure in a way that you don't really see it happen that often, right? So it's a very new look, and he throws him down. Great job. I mean, Jared Verse reminds me a lot of Nolan Smith. He's got great speed, and he's got great athleticism off that edge, got great bend, but again, unselfish type of player. Boom, let me take out that guard, and now we get a 2-on-1 matchup that we ultimately get the sack on. Great job by the defense, and again, this is something the Chiefs are going to have to do. Now, I didn't want to make this too long of a video. I want to keep it at that. The most important things that Steve Spagnuolo and this Kansas City Chiefs defense needs to do to win the Super Bowl is A, stop the run. Not completely, just slow it down, right? 2, get pressure on the quarterback. That's it. That's it. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. Trust me, it is. You're going up against the best offensive line in football with the best running back in football. It's going to be very, very difficult to stop them, but if you can, even if you can just do one out of the 2, apply pressure, or if you can slow down the running game, it's going to change everything for the Kansas City Chiefs, which will ultimately help them win 3 Super Bowls in a row. Comment down below some score predictions. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. It is free. It doesn't cost anything, and we will be covering the Chiefs and the Eagles throughout the entirety of this Super Bowl and the offseason, which includes free agent signings, film analysis, whoever they trade for, film analysis, whoever they draft, film analysis. So make sure you guys join the family. Now, with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next update, which should be very, very soon. Peace.